Let's do a flip through of my junk journals. Now, I have definitely learned from my mistakes since junk journaling. This one I didn't get to finish up, and then this is my new one. So we're going to start with the one that I originally fell in love with and did all of my original junk journal layouts in. So we're going to put this one to the side, and let's take a look at this cute one. It has my little logo here for Kitten and Kitsch, and let's just see how everything started out. This was my very first layout and I was thrilled. I took some vintage cards here and I documented some of my thrifting on this layout, and I even put a note here, my very first junk journal layout, and that was towards the end of December. So this one was such a sweet page and it really got me hooked. On this next one here, if you have to know anything about me, I am a huge Coraline fan, and so my journals don't go chronologically. I just had so much Coraline ephemera, and this picture was from a Halloween a couple years ago, and then this was my birthday in September. So I definitely journal very mixed matched and whatever I'm feeling. So loved this spread. I can't love Coraline enough. If you are a Coraline fan, please let me know below because I am absolutely obsessed. This layout is still one of my top favorite layouts ever. It was to ring in the new year, and I just fell in love with this girl and the disco ball and just the randomness of this collage. And I definitely wanted a very vibey and vintage new year. So I definitely feel like I was getting into junk journaling, getting my foot in the door with it, and I just loved this spread so much. Still a fave. Okay, this layout was when I definitely kind of started to figure out more of the junky side of it. This was an old lotto ticket from the end of the year, and it's just all things Florida, and even my husband was on board at this point. I ended up cutting a guide map and spreaded it out, and I just loved how it turned out, and these were some old stickers from 3 years ago. So I was finally using up stickers and not hoarding them, and I loved this one. So fun. And of course, a little manatee, right? And then I love this one. So this was an upcycled VHS tape. I am a You've Got Mail fan to the extreme. This one was so much fun. I mean, AOL, like, are you kidding me? I'm obsessed with AOL. I remember those days so much, and the nostalgia in this layout was super powerful. Like, love. Again, not necessarily any memories here. This was just kind of a creative spread, and that's what I love about junk journaling is just the complete freedom. So this was a really fun one here. My husband and I are huge Panthers hockey fans, and so I just kind of created a spread for him in my journal and documented some of the games that we went to. And this was a picture of my husband and his father. They actually got to go see the first Stanley Cup playoff game. And so I just thought this was a fun spread and a lot different than the ones you'll see. This next one here, this is a little flip pocket. See, I started to figure out some fancy junk journaling tricks. And this was kind of an ode to my childhood. I love anything groovy girls in early 2000s, and I loved being able to create little flip outs. So I felt very on top of my game here and really starting to figure out junk journaling. So a fun and cute spread here. This next one, absolutely loved as well. My aunt and I are absolute best friends, and so when I saw these vintage book pages I cut up, I knew it reminded me so much of my aunt and I just wanted to memory keep on here. Again, some of these pictures are like a couple of years old, so again, not chronological, just memory keeping, and what a sweet and fun spread here. I cut up another vintage book page. This was from Goodwill, and so I cut it up, and I just wanted to have this little sad girl emo moment because unfortunately my mom was dying during this time, and she did sadly pass away of breast cancer. And so it was a good chance for me to document that experience and just kind of process those emotions and do it in a way that didn't feel super sad, but had a little bit of cuteness to it. So I am thankful for this spread. It really did help process some of those feelings during that time. This next one here is when we were starting to get into that Valentine's mood, And again, some vintage book pages. I am a huge Tommy DePaula fan, and so I loved using those pages here and getting to journal right here. I don't think I actually made this one a flip. No, I didn't. It was just a cute little card and getting me into the Valentine spirit. This next one is such a sweet page here. This is dedicated to our new cat, Maple, that we got. She is probably now about 5 months old. She is just such a sweet little girl, and I had to document this picture of her here. And then I loved hiding her silly, goofy self behind that card. When I saw this vintage book page, I knew immediately I had to make a little spread for her. So loved that, and of course a cute guest check moment. So such fun memories of our sweet new kitty. Here is another Valentine's layout. And if you are not following Leah over at Thrifty Day, that is a must do right now. She is so sweet and such an inspiration to junk journal world. The women in that Patreon group, we all participated in a Valentine's exchange. So all the ephemera you're seeing came from that exchange. It was so fun to receive mail and then send mail to these wonderful ladies. I even was able to create some fun pockets, and I just loved everything vintage in here. And this little card came from one of the women named Cindy, and so thank you so much, Cindy, for that sweet card. Just, I love the nostalgia of that spread. Our next one here, oh my goodness, again, kind of like that New Year's spread, one of my top favorites ever. This postcard was from Leah's Patreon as well. I just love this spread. It brings me such happiness and joy. I was craving something spring, new life, happiness, and this girl, isn't she so stinking cute? Again, not really any memories here. This was just kind of a creative spread, and I'm okay with that. My junk journal is random. It's whatever I'm feeling at the moment, and this was cute. I guess you could say this one was a memory. It was from some flowers I had gotten from my mom, and so yeah, it was just a fun and happy spread. Love this one. And here's kind of where my journal stops because my binding was breaking apart. And so again, junk journal rookie mistake. So that is the end of this journal. And I'm going to show you my next one. And so for my next one here, I was kind of in a pinch. And I saw a lot of people using these moleskin soft cover journals. And so far, I love it, but I'm not that far into it. And it's been working out pretty well. So for this one, I'm still working on the cover. Here was my intro page to my journal because I've seen a lot of girls work on these and make them look super stunning and spectacular. And it was just a little dedication page to myself, an intro. And I've seen some girls like put letters to themselves to read the next year, and I thought that would be a cool idea. And so I do have some room to be able to do that. Loved how this one came out. Some blank pages that I may or may not come back to. I wasn't sure, so I'm going to leave them blank for now. This one was so fun. I decided to start being able to play with like the middle of the book, and I always saw people like take a journal page and put it flat into the middle and seal it, and I was so nervous to do that because I'm like, what if it won't fold right? But sure enough, it did all work out. This is a fun kind of circusy themed spread, but it was really dedicated to my first Etsy drop, and I just felt so special to be able to document that. I had launched some book journal charms and my Care Bears journal, which some of these are still available in my shop, and it was just worth documenting here. These two items here came from Thrifty Day as a part of her Patreon, and I was able to create a little flap here and document some notes to myself, and I just loved how this one came out. It just felt very whimsical and cute while still memory keeping a bit. This one here is just fun and absolutely junky, and I love it. I have a Canadian pen pal, shout out to Brooke. She is so sweet, and she sent me my first little batch of pen pal goodies, and so it was so fun to be able to document that moment with her, and I created a little pocket. Everything you're seeing here pretty much came directly from Brooke, and she even made me an envelope with my name on it and Lisa Frank. I mean, come on, does it really get any better than that? She knew I loved anything spooky, and so lots of little fun goodies here, and I thought this was so freaking funny. And so yeah, just some little notes here. And this was actually something Brooke designed. She does marketing. And so I thought, what a cool way to remember all her hard work here. And I just love it. It's junky, it's fun, and yeah, thanks, Brooke. My next one here, now we're getting towards the end of my journal, and this was Valentine's Day. And I love anything vintage and spooky Valentine's, so you'll kind of see that here. I love wearing brooches, and so this is a copy of the brooch that my husband bought me for Valentine's Day, and I just absolutely love it. Shout out to my husband. That is my husband, Derek, and I. Just a little background, my husband and I are high school sweethearts, and we are coming up on our 6th-year wedding anniversary. So yeah, he's a great guy, and he supports the junk journaling hobby. This Turtles chocolate wrapper came from some chocolates I had on Valentine's Day, so I thought, how perfect was that? And love the little skelly guy. This was also from Leah's Patreon, so if you're seeing a theme here, you're probably right. And so I did some journaling on it about our Valentine's Day and how fun it was. And then this was just a cool random sticker dump. So love that. And it was just a sweet, precious day. And that spread was really fun. Oh, also before I turn, this was a napkin. Who knew a napkin could be a journal spread? So definitely think outside of the box when it comes to different items and their purposes. So sadly, this is the last spread that I have to share, but it's one of my most favorites I've done, I think. I visited a small town in Florida, and it was filled with antique shops and so many thrifting opportunities there. And I went with my husband, Derek. He is such a sweetie, and so he tagged along with me, and we found quite a few vintage books that we can use for junk journaling and ephemera. I've been holding on to this clock for a while, and I knew once I saw this business card here that the colors, they were just so perfect, and I thought, what a great way to document the memories of today. It was one of those days where you just didn't want it to end, and so all the ephemera you're seeing here mostly came from that day. We visited this cute local coffee shop here, and so I cut the sleeve of that and put it on a Viewmaster, which I did get from one of the shops. What a throwback. This lace here was 50 cents, and it was just so gorgeous, and I thought it would look beautiful up there sticking out of my journal. This was something vintage that my aunt had sent me, and so I made it a little flip, and that way I could document our memories of today. And another picture of the coffee shop. Isn't that so cool, the way they displayed everything? It just felt really cozy and sweet, and I loved this spread, and we even have the receipt here. And sadly, that is my last one that I have to show you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I loved chatting with you, a very chatty video indeed. And like I said before, this junk journaling community is absolutely amazing. Everyone I speak to is so kind and willing to collaborate and share ideas. So if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to this channel. And I'm also on Instagram under Kitten and Kitsch, as well as TikTok. And you can find some links in my bio if you're interested in anything in my shop. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this chatty junk journal video with me.